What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Yeah, I know. I know I don't do night shows too often. Yeah, I know. A lot of the times when I when I do something with somebody in a different time zone, we normally mess it up. I normally mess it up. I take responsibility, so I apologize for it saying 7 p.m. ended up being 8 p.m. I do apologize for that, but come on in. I hate when people say that, but come on in, hit the like button, whether you're catching it live or you're catching it after it's uploaded. I'm going to be talking to a brother who I guess I would say semi lives abroad, or he can just go and stay for 3 or 4 months at a time if he wishes. So that's a special type of freedom. That's a special type of freedom right there. So we're going to be getting into that. So let's get ready to go. Let's strap on in. When I find my intro, let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What's up? What's going on, everybody? That brother Xavier doing my intro hits different when I'm doing a night show. When he say "wake your black ass up," it does hit different when I'm doing a night show. It's like everybody should be up. But shout out to Early Bird Squad, those that make it in bright and early before I get things started. Shout out to OGJ Speed, says Mr. Riley, you better not have me waiting for nothing. This is going to be interesting. Yes, I'm not. I had you waiting an hour. We messed up the time. Well, I messed up the time zone. I take responsibility. Little Big Nate in the building. Shout out to you. Shout out to Lando Calrissian. My bad. Messed up your name. Shout out to, okay, that's interesting. They coming in early, coming in hot. Sugar Naker says tricks are for kids. Interesting. Saint Cyr in the building, and I'm going to bring up my special guest right now to tell me what does that mean right there. So welcome to the show. Dennis John Pierre, welcome aboard. Glad to have you.
Thanks for having me. What's going on?
Absolutely. So the first question of the day is, what does that say right there? What is that?
Oi pessoal, boa noite. Hi people, good night, good evening.
Oh, okay, cool. And so, as you can tell, this brother speaks fluent. That was Portuguese.
Portuguese, yes.
Okay, yes. So yeah, he speaks it fluently. So I remember Pablo said it'd be a lot of people rooting and cheering from the cheap seats when it comes to this passport stuff. No, this brother is official. He's actually over there speaking the language and everything. So we're going to be getting into a lot of that. But shout out to everybody making it into the building. Shout out to everybody. Do appreciate each and every one of you. Nobility at rest. It's Jay Clyde, Saint Cyr once again.
Jay Clyde, I'm bad.
Oh yeah, I knew that had to be one of your guys. He wasn't one of mine. So shout out to him. Appreciate you coming on in. give us a little bit of your back. And special shout out to Sir Tice, the one who set this up. Been trying to set this up for a while, and it's finally got it done. Shout out to Sir Tice. Shout out to Sir Tice. He says, finally, my dog, DJ P, is in the building. Absolutely salute Sir Tice. We do appreciate you. You and Sir Tice are good friends, I presume.
Yeah, I've known him for 22 years.
22 years. Okay. Yeah. How did you guys know each other? How did you come to meet?
Well, back before social media, we had something called message boards. It was similar to Black Planet, and it was a message board for Black Americans, and we were on there. We would talk sports a lot, and occasionally the forum would host like get-togethers, and I met him at a get-together here in Chicago. So we've been cool ever since.
All right, that's what's up. All right, so let's get into it. Give us a little bit of your background, I guess, before you started doing the passport thing. Which is what was going on with your life, and I guess that'll segue me right into where I'm trying to take this thing. So what were you doing before you got into traveling and living abroad?
Well, first, my name is Dennis Jean-Pierre. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I went to school, went to college, did everything that people said you should do. Go to college, go to school, get a good job. Did all that, got my degree, had various jobs, got laid off. Then I started, doing things on my own. And I've always been a traveler. Not an international traveler, but just a domestic traveler. But it wasn't until maybe 2000, towards around the time that social media started kicking off, that I really started getting into really traveling internationally. And my first international travel was in 2001. I went to Toronto, Canada, and I remember distinctly the difference in the vibe between that society and this society here in America. So that's why I really got my feet wet for the first time. But a friend of a friend in 2012 used to live in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and he used to produce films there, and he was telling me about it, and that really got my interest. But it wasn't until I saw the documentary by Al Grease called "Frustrated Black Men in Brazil" where I said, "Hey, I'm going this year."
Yeah, that was my first question when I was watching one of your videos and you had said Al Grease changed your life.
Yes.
So that's where I wanted to start the conversation right there. Explain how did he change your life?
Well, before I went to Brazil the first time, I had never really been outside of North America, number one. And I felt it was time for me to put the big boy drawers on and start venturing out to different continents. But what really spurred me to go to Brazil, like a lot of men, was the difference in the culture, and also the difference in the women. I've always heard about Brazilian women, but it wasn't until I saw that documentary where I said, "Hey, I'm going now." And mostly because I was frustrated with the dating scene here in America, and I said I want to try something different. It's time to change ballparks here, so that's what I did. I got my passport, got my plane ticket, and just took off.
I think I know where this is going to go, but I'll just go ahead and ask anyway. What in particular was frustrating you with the dating scene here in America?
Well, I mean, I had some successes. I wasn't a total, a total lame. It's just that I started noticing it became more difficult once social media started kicking off. It became more difficult to go out into the street and meet a quality woman, or it became difficult to get traction with the women here because of social media. And so I said, something's wrong. I improved my finances, improved my game, improved the way I dressed. I did everything that people say you should do, and my results were still inconsistent. So I said, let me try something different. Let me try a whole different society and see what happens. And it was more than it was beyond what I thought it was going to be.
Is this true right here? Sir Tice is saying, tell him how you used to be a former dating roach, or coach.
Yeah, you remember the movie Hitch with Will Smith?
Of course.
I kind of was inspired by that, and I said I want to be a dating coach. I want to help guys, go out to teach them how to go out and meet women in the street at public venues or whatever. But like I said, I noticed it started getting harder once social media started kicking off. And so that's when I stopped being a dating coach. I said, I'm not going to continue to take guys' money and, knowing that, hey, it's not as easy as it once was. Because before social media, it was, if you had the courage to approach a woman in the street, that was half the battle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just walking up and approaching in an appropriate manner, that was half the battle. That's not so much anymore. Because in the past, and the reason I say that is because in the past, women have to actually leave a house to get attention from men. You know what I'm saying? Now they get all their attention from this. So the dynamic has changed. The landscape has changed. So I said, it's time for me to take my game elsewhere.
Was being a dating coach, or dating roach, as Sir Tice called it, was it lucrative?
It was at first. I even had me and my best friend, I wrote a book too. And it was at first, but like I said, I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel right, accepting money from clients, knowing that the landscape had changed so much.
So you felt like you were selling them false hopes, or you were,
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow. Like that's deep. That's deep, because I mean, it's some dating coaches, hashtag not all, is one in particular who I consider a friend of the show that I really like. But it's some of them who
is it?
Alan Roger Curry.
Okay.
Yeah, I like him. I've interviewed him formally 3 or 4 times, but impromptu will probably total up about 6 or 7, times where he kind of just took the link of the show and I turned it into an interview. So yeah, so I like ARC, but but there's some out there who kind of sell those false hopes, where it would be sort of like if you could be average or below average looking, a guy who's, I don't know, a 3 on the scale from 1 through 10, 5'6", and you got good mouthpiece, you know how to talk to them, you can be pulling baddies on a regular. They try to sell it like that, and look, and I've always said, and I was, I don't like to be ranking myself, but I'm a decent looking guy, and I know when I was really out there, my experience was like a lot like yours. I had some successes, but it just wasn't no just easy thing. Like,
right.
You take some L's out here in these American streets.
You gotta have skill, man. You gotta have skill.
Yeah. But yeah, so no, that's interesting that you pulled out of doing that. You felt like you were selling them. In order to stay in the game and for it to stay lucrative, you have to sort of sell the pipe dream, sort of.
Right.
Right. That's interesting. I've never heard nobody say that. That just come forth and say that, because normally most of the people who are in that game, they in that game. They in it till they die. They ain't giving that one away.
I don't have a problem with. There's only maybe a few dating coaches out there that I have an issue with, and my only issue with a lot of current dating coaches is that some of them they act as if game is always the answer, and game is not always the answer.
Yeah,
saying there's some things that game cannot solve.
Yeah, agreed. So you saw frustrated, or I forgot what you said. You said you saw it, or did you end up meeting him, or you just saw the documentary?
I saw the documentary on YouTube, and there was an older gentleman from here in Chicago. His name was Stephen Holmes. Okay. And in that documentary, he said something that I thought was quite profound. He said, "This will change your thinking of women down here." And I'm like, really? And so that's what really spurred me to get off the fence and get my passport and go on down there and check it out.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. That was interesting. So you got down there. Mm-hmm. Okay. You got down there. What was your immediate takeaway? And what year was this, by the way?
This was in August of 2013.
So August of 2013, you finally got down there. What was your first immediate takeaway?
My first immediate impression was like, damn, I'm on another continent.
Yeah.
And at first, I experienced some culture shock. For the first 4 days, I was like, man, I felt like a fish out of water because I didn't speak the language very well. I didn't really know anybody. And I'm like, wow, this was a mistake. This is a mistake coming down here. But after the 4th day, I adjusted. I adjusted to the people. The people look a little different down there because they have different mixtures that I've never, different phenotypes and mixtures of people that I've never seen before. So I was a little culture shocked by that. But after I adjusted, it was beautiful. I noticed how open the culture was. I know the beaches were beautiful. The people were very, very receptive and friendly. The food is great. The weather's great. And it made me want to come back. And that's what I did.
All right. So the view that most people give out there that, oh, the women are just so feminine and everything is just so perfect in terms of the women. Now you have a unique experience now getting caught more up to, right now, where you have moments where, as I understand it, where you will be living down there for 3 and 4 months at a time sometimes. Yes. You'll go down there and you'll be able to stay for 3 or 4 months. We're going to talk about it later in the interview. How are you able to do that? Because not everybody, there's some people, they work and save up their money and, they get to go live that life, in 1 week spurts, maybe a 2 week spurt, but maybe, no more than 3 weeks out the years spread out, So we're going to talk later on how you get to that point, how you got to that point where you're able to stay for 3 or 4 months. But staying there for 3 and 4 months at a time, do you think it gives you a different perspective or
Absolutely.
view of the women? Because everybody else is on vacation mode when they're down there. But if you're down there for 4 months, you're practically living down there. So what is your experience practically living down there and experiencing the women down there?
Well, first, I want to dispel a couple myths about the women in Brazil.
All right, let's go.
Number one, not all Brazilian women are fine.
Okay.
You got attractive, you got average, you got ugly, just like anywhere else in the world. Not all Brazilian women are nice. You got some women that are nice. You got some that are not so nice. You got some that are straight up really bitchs. Okay. So let's dispel those two myths. Number three,
even you walking around there with all them American all that USD just oozing out of your pores, they still be a bitch to you every now and then.
It's not like that. See, people got this impression that you're an American man, you get on a plane, you go to Rio de Janeiro, and as soon as you step off the plane, the women are ready to, jump your bones. It's not like that. Okay. And I tell my subscribers, don't go down there with that expectation. You're gonna be sorely disappointed. You know what I'm saying? Sure, you being an American male gives you a little bit of leverage, so to speak, but it's not, oh, you're American, let's do whatever. It's not like that. It's not like that for the most part.
All right. Well, what is it like? Break down what is it? If it's not like that, what is it like?
Okay, it's like this. When it comes to meeting women there, women in Brazil are more open to meeting. They're more open to meeting men they don't know more than here in the United States. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's like interactions are more free flowing. There's minimal games. There's minimal BS. I mean, they play their games. They got game too. They play their games too, but it's not like it is here in the United States. I find them a lot more easygoing, more feminine. I'm talking in general terms. I'm not saying all. You got some great women here in the United States. I'm talking about in general terms. I find Brazilian women more feminine, more easygoing, very attractive. A lot of them are very attractive. And it's a breath of fresh air compared to what you have to deal with here in the States.
Okay, so you're basically saying that it sounds like you're more or less saying the things that people, highlight when they're talking about Brazilian women. It sounds like you're saying that they're not wrong. It's just probably it's on more of a bell curve than what they try to depict it as. Like the ratios or percentages are higher. Like the women are nicer. It's a higher percentage of them that are nice over there compared to over here. But it don't mean across the board it's a flat line of nice and sweetness. Right. Is that more or less what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
because sometimes people take what you say and run with it. You know what I'm saying? They say, "Oh, not all Brazilian women are not this, they're not that." I know this. I'm speaking in general terms here.
Okay, cool. Somebody just asked something I never even thought about. I prefer y'all to super chat questions. Yeah, I know the routine over here, but that was a good one, so I had to go ahead and highlight it and put it on the board. He says, "Is there any racism or colorism over there?"
Yes, it is. It is.
Explain. I know it can't be exactly like our racism and colorism over here, to the extent that colorism exists over here. I question it, but either way, it can't be exactly like it is over here. But so how is it over there, or how does it differ?
Well, the distribution of wealth and resources is concentrated by the few white Brazilians at the top. Okay, most Brazilians are black and mixed. Okay, so in that regard, you have the same situation that you have in the rest of South America: whites at the top, blacks at the bottom, as far as racial pecking order. But the people intermingle freely. The racism is there, but it's not in your face like it is here in the United States. You know what I'm saying? Have I experienced overt racism in Brazil? No. But if you ask a poor black Brazilian living in favela, they may give you a different story, a different
So it sounds like it's classism to some degree.
It's classism and racism, but the classism, it's more like there's an expression in Brazil that they say money whitens. So it's more like if you got money, your status economically can somehow override the color of your skin. For example, a lot of Brazilian footballers, black Brazilian footballers, they end up marrying white women because it's more, you know what I'm saying? It's supposedly it's more acceptable.
Bro, you've been describing America for like the last 3 minutes.
I mean, sure, there are similarities, but it's not exactly the same.
Yeah, because when I'm hearing, okay, most of the wealth is in the hands of a very small percentage of white people. I'm like, check, as American. A poor black or darker skinned person, I don't even know if they call it black over there, but a poor darker skinned person over there would probably say that the country is far more racist than in the middle, medium skinned person, in the middle economically, but medium skinned person over there. Yes, I said skinned it.
Right.
That's just how it be over here. And then the athletes, the footballer, soccer as we call it. But our football players, our athletes over here, yes, they marry white women at a higher percentage rate. And yes, over here, that money eliminates some of the, some of those problems that would come from either racism or classism or whatever, however we determine the bias. The money does get you, in the game, in the door, to the point to where people are less likely to see your color if you got the money. But so that's very similar. That's very similar. So yes, I do find that interesting. I do find that interesting. So let's talk about it from the standpoint. Now, somebody came up here one time, and he came riding in with sword and shield, trying to dispel everything that everybody has said, and he had an agenda. Yeah, he tried to say that the feminism over there was really no different from feminism over here. What would you say to that? What would you say to that?
There is feminism in Brazil, and it's gaining traction. But in order for Brazil is a patriarchal society, and it's a very masculine society. Okay, as far as the men are concerned. In order for feminism to thrive in any society, you have to have the judicial system and the media to back you up. You know what I'm saying? And sure, it's growing, but it's not like it is in North America. It's just not. It's just not. Okay. When people say that, oh man, feminism's everywhere, sure, there's feminism in Brazil, but it's not like it is here in the United States. I can say that with 100% certainty.
Okay. Now, and this was another thing that came up. Excuse me. And this is one that may be kind of hard for you to really know or wrap your finger around, but the women over there, this is what was argued, that they treat American men well because, after all, American men are coming over there and they're on, they know these guys are here temporarily, and they have American dollars, they have U.S. dollars.
Mm-hmm.
But when it regresses to the meme and how they treat their men over there, he basically said they treat them exactly the same way that we claim that women over in the U.S. or black women in the U.S., how black women treat black men, or how women in general in the West or in the U.S. treat the men out here. Would you say that the women over there, just in your observation, being there 3 and 4 months at a time, would you say that they are more or less the same way with their own men, but they're just giving the American men showing up with American dollars your own vacation and spending money experience?
If you're dealing with working girls, yes, that's the case. If you're dealing with working girls, then yes, they're more concerned about your money because they know you're transient and this and this and that. But I've gotten a lot of complaints, some complaints from Brazilian women that that Brazilian men are generally not very affectionate. I've heard one Brazilian woman tell me that Brazilian men are more like bang, 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 goodbye. You know what I'm saying? I've heard these complaints from quite a few Brazilian women. But at the end of the day, women are women. Women want a man with resources. They want a man who has more than them because they need, the provider and protector. That's across the board. So if you're an American man and you're leveraging your American dollar, of course you're going to have a lot more leverage with some of the ladies there. Not all of them, because there are some Brazilian women that will not date foreigners at all. That's another myth that I want to dispel, that all these women want to come to the United States. No, that's not true. Right. They see what goes on here. They watch the news. And plus some of them don't want to leave their country, their family, their culture, everything that they know, to go be with some gringo in another country. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. And how do I know? Because I've asked them. I talked to a lot of women. So just wanted to dispel those myths.
All right. No doubt. Thank you, Marlon B, for the Cash App. Do appreciate you, Marlon B. Thanks for coming on through on the Cash App, and do appreciate you. And okay, that's it on the Cash App end. And I've had people, because Game Changers right there in the chat. I've had people come in and say that and make that same point, that the ones who are so quick to come over here, you should almost see that as a red flag, like they have some type of agenda or ulterior motive as to why they want to come over here. Would you say that that's true?
It is true.
Yeah.
It is true.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So interesting. Now, you mentioned the working ladies, and we can't have a discussion about passport over in Brazil without getting into that. So what let me make sure I can hear you, but I want to make sure I can hear you just a little better. All right, let me get these headsets on. All right. So what would you say as far as the degree that an American man going over there, he's staying for a week.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get some action, to what extent to what extent is it pretty much guaranteed that he got to hit up the working girls? He's going to have to pay, or like what would
it depends? Say? It depends on the guy. It depends on the guy, where he's staying, his language ability. It depends on several things, but not all guys don't go down there for the same reason. Some of them go for that, of course. Of course, the women are the draw. Nobody's denying that. The women are the draw, but not every guy goes down there for those reasons.
Yeah. So typically you go down there, you don't speak the language, and obviously you can't have a smooth mouthpiece if she don't understand you and you don't understand her.
You can't run game on somebody if they don't know what you're saying.
Exactly. So typically you touch down in a foreign country. If you're trying to party with the ladies, then you gotta pay. So
it depends on the guy. It depends on how he looks. You can't be. Steve Urkel is not going down to Copacabana and bang supermodels without paying. We'll just leave it at that. That's not happening.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And that makes sense. That's more or less. That's more or less how I looked at it. But there is a factor in the equation because, as far as I understand, and maybe it's different from other countries. They probably speak English at a higher percentage rate, or I don't know. But the perception or the view generally is that a lot of the brothers that I hear speaking on these topics that actually go over there. I know a lot of them don't speak the language fluently. So when they're talking about the overall general femininity of the women over there, if they don't speak the language fluently, then they're paying. So it's almost like, would you say that in that situation is more of a, paying for the feminine experience, or more or less like in that situation?
Paying for the feminine experience.
Oh, I mean, well, the women, of course, are being feminine because they're paying. But so I'm just asking, like, to what are the women is the baseline? Because I mean, again, you have the unique experience. You speak the language. You're there 3 or 4 months at a time. Would you say just your overall in general dealing with the women in a non-sexual, like you're not even actively out there? Every woman you meet out there, you're not trying to have sex with, obviously. So would you say just in general, it's more femininity within the women,
in
just
general,
across the board? Okay.
It's across in general. Of course, not all of them are feminine, not all of them are nice, but a lot of them are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You said you think they are talking about demeanor and not sex. Okay. That was
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Got it. Yeah. I wanted to make sure I want to make sure I prompted you to I didn't want to lead the question too much, because a lot of people say that they out there just paying for femininity and that's why they're more feminine. But are you? Is it?
Well, let me ask you this. Let's reverse it. Let's say you got a millionaire guy here in the States, a very wealthy guy, and you don't think most American women, are going to be somewhat more cooperative with this guy?
Of course.
Of course. So
yeah.
I mean, it's like, exactly. What are you paying for? Are you paying for her femininity too?
Right. No, you didn't pay for nothing. She just she saw something that she was trying to get next to.
Right.
Yeah. No, exactly. Carter Banks III said BR acts like women acting a fool if you're not tricking. That's not what I was saying. You watch my show. Don't say that I'm saying stuff that I'm not saying. I don't like when y'all do that. Asking questions to get him to speak more in depth on the topic. Get him to speak more in depth on the topic. But let's see. So let's talk about this. We mentioned a number of times being down there for long periods at a time. And this is one of the things that at least I don't hear it talked about as much. Maybe on some of the channels they do more of a deep dive into this, but there's a lot of brothers, working class brothers, here in the States, that, some of them, like I said, they save their money and they go over there and then they're doing their thing when they over there, but they got to come back here and be in the rat race and punch a clock and the whole works. And what are the steps to go from that to punching that clock and then saving up whatever you can, cutting back on some of the nonsense that you're doing? Make sure you save up a few $1,000s so you can travel here and there. Well, how do you go from that to being that guy who can go and not even worry about when you're coming back?
Well, let me just say this. When I first went to Brazil, I stayed for 13 days. And that 13 days was not enough. The second time I went, I stayed for 17 days. Wasn't enough. The third and fourth times, I stayed for a month. After a while, a month became not enough. And it got to a point where I got sick of that sadness feeling when I left. I'm like, I got to go back. And I don't want to go back. I said, I got to do something. I got to do something. My income back then. Go ahead. You want to say something?
No. You said sick of that sadness feeling. Let's stay right there for a second. Explain that sadness of coming back. Like, I've been on vacation, and I'm not going to lie. There's times where I've been on vacation, and I was kind of relieved to get back home a little bit. But I hear a lot of people say it's like they almost like a kid getting snatched away from Christmas. It's like
in the community. In the travel community, we coined a phrase called post-Brazil depression syndrome.
Wow.
And it's real. It's real. People like to joke and make sarcastic comments about what we're talking about. Oh man, y'all are just some simps. And no, it's a real thing. You are going to be sad as hell. Get on that plane to come back to the United States when you leave from down there. And so I got sick of that. I got sick of that.
Explain the why. Then we get right back on where you was going.
Explain why.
Why the sadness, the sickness, the post Brazil
PBDS, post Brazil depression syndrome.
Explain.
It's a real thing, and damn near every male traveler that I know that's went down there felt the same way. I've heard so many stories. I've heard of a guy who got all the way to the airport to the ticket counter and turned back, said, I can't leave. I heard a guy got physically sick on the plane coming back. I've heard of guys shedding tears in the terminal.
Oh, damn.
I've heard all types of stories. So it's definitely a real thing. And you ask why?
Yeah.
Because it's the treatment that we get. The treatment that we get, the beautiful beaches, beautiful women, great food, great vibe, particularly in Rio de Janeiro, particularly there. But it's hard to leave. Brazil has a charm. Rio in particular has a charm that's hard to describe. I call it a vortex of good times, good vibes, and chance encounters. That's what I call it. And it's the only city in Brazil that's like that.
All right. So before I interrupted you on that, and I forgot where you was going. You was going somewhere, and then I interrupted you. I think I'd ask you. I was asking you how do you go from
how do I go from being a 9-to-5 guy to being able to stay as long as I want?
Yeah, and you were breaking down and explaining the first few times you went how you got sad, and then I cut you off. So go ahead.
I said I got to find a way. My income was not set up at the time where I could stay as long as I want because I had a regular job. I was a cab driver at the time. So I said, okay, I got to do something. So I started doing affiliate marketing. I was already doing internet marketing or affiliate marketing in the beginning, but then I ramped it up to the point where I was able to walk away from my regular job. Now, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, affiliate marketing is basically you're promoting other people's products and services online for a commission.
Mm-hmm.
You're sending visitors to their website, whatever e-commerce site they have. You're an affiliate of that site. You send them visitors, and when people buy something through you, you get a commission. And so that's what I did. I was able to walk away, and now I can stay as long as I want. All I need is my laptop and the internet connection whenever I go to Brazil.
Now that sounds like something, and I don't think you're talking about multi-level marketing,
no,
or are you? Okay,
I don't have to recruit people.
Yeah, I was just about to say, yeah. No, I don't think this is that.
This ain't MLM.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't think this was
absolutely
that.
Not.
But even with affiliate marketing, that does still sound like something that probably a small percentage of people really thrive and succeed in. Like, would you say it's hard to make it in that? Because based off everything you described, somebody could do that, and then you could do that anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You could be in Brazil for 6 months and just do that. So it's probably the thing to do if you're trying to, live that lifestyle. Mm-hmm. But what percentage of people actually, really make it in that try?
Well, here's the thing. A small percentage of people are really making it because they're not doing it the right way. Mm-hmm. And I've actually taught people how to try to do what I do. I have a couple of videos called How I Sustain Myself in Brazil, where I actually show people exactly what I do. And I offered a course or a package that teach guys what I do. Is it easy? No, but there is a learning curve. But once you got it, you got it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's interesting. Do you find that the guys that are out there that really stay out there, for long periods of time and don't got to worry about coming back and punching the clock, I take it as normally guys that do something similar to what you're doing, or IT guys, or like what jobs are people doing, or skills do they have, or whatever that permits them to actually live that lifestyle that they want to live, so they're not just over here cheering from the cheap seats.
Right. I mean, the guys that I encounter, almost all of them have the ability to earn money remotely, and that can come in any form. They could do what I do, which is affiliate marketing. They could do Forex, which is currency trading. They could do drop shipping. They could be real estate investors back home. I mean, it varies the type of ways you can earn money without having to punch a clock somewhere, without having to be physically present someplace. So it's various ways you can do it, but those are some of the main ones.
Yeah.
Or some of them work for corporations or companies that allow them to work remotely.
Switching gears a little bit, because I just thought about, because I watched a lot of your content leading up to this interview, and some of the content I got ready to watch, but then I I kind of tapped out because you was doing full interviews in Portuguese. If I said it, so I'm like, how long did it take you to learn that, to speak it fluently to the point to where you and somebody from over there just having a fluent conversation, not missing a beat?
Well, here's the thing. When I first started learning in 2013, I started out learning the wrong way. And what I mean by that, I started learning via reading and writing. But when you're a kid and you're trying to learn how to talk, you don't learn through reading and writing so much. You learn through listening and talking. And so it kind of delayed my progress by a couple of years. But once I started visiting Brazil, talking to people, watching YouTube videos, practicing how to say certain things, certain words and phrases that we say every day. Once I started doing that, it took off.
So when you say it took off, about how fast was that takeoff?
I would say maybe a couple years. A couple years of consistent study and application. Now, I don't live in Brazil. I'm only there half the year.
Yeah.
Because I can't practice Portuguese here in Chicago where I'm at, because almost nobody speaks Portuguese here in the United States.
Yeah.
So it's hard to practice. But I do practice every day still. I still talk with my friends, and it's like I get better every day. Just take it little by little.
Okay, no, I mean, from the videos, I mean, obviously I'm no judge of whether or not you're doing it right or wrong, but just that it seems like you just having very, very just fluent conversations. Like I was definitely impressed. I was definitely impressed by that. The link is in the chat. Anybody want to come up and ask any questions or add to this conversation? The link is definitely in the chat. I guess one question is, okay, so it's so great over there and you have the ability to live there full time if need be, then why not? Why be here? Why be in Chirac for 6 months out the year?
Well, the reason why I'm not there permanently is because I got family here. I got my mother, I got my niece and my nephew. I'm not ready to leave them permanently yet. You know, family's important. And
Gotcha.
Right now, I'm content just escaping the very harsh winters here in Chicago. Because the seasons are opposite. When it's winter here, it's summer there. So
yeah.
I go down there.
I live in Michigan, so trust me, I know what you're talking about. If you're talking if the winters in Chicago, which from what I hear and what I've seen,
they're brutal.
Yeah, so yeah, we got the same issue here in Michigan. No doubt. But all right, we are joined by electrician 480 in the building. Do appreciate you coming aboard, joining the show. Welcome aboard. You have the floor. You have the mic. Oh, come on. Don't do me like that. Unmute yourself. You got to unmute yourself. I'll drop you down. I'll be able to see. At least I think. Hold on. Can't unmute you guys. All right. So I think I'll be able to see down there at the bottom, or post in the private chat when you think you're ready to go. Post something in the private chat. I'll see it down there, and I'll bring you back on up. I'll bring you back on up. That's interesting. He said we have a small hub of Brazilians in Portuguese in Florida. All right, let's see. We got somebody else in the building. LaShawn Jefferson, you have the floor. You have the mic. Welcome aboard.
Thank you very much for allowing me on the panel. And
no doubt.
Both of y'all is making. Bernard, I'm enjoying the questions you asking them, because these are the questions I would ask them. But honestly, this is one thing I don't understand about this. these are men that worked hard. These are men that made plans. These are men that had dreams and they actually following through with their dreams. Why is everybody pissed off at them? And this gentleman right here can answer that question. And Bernard, you actually did it, but you still in America. So I want both of y'all perspectives because y'all is both hitting on some things, but it's like you're kind of like it's an idea and a genius that both of y'all need to expand on. So if you could, I'll put myself on mute and just listen to your answers.
What's the question again?
Yeah.
How is it that Bernard is in America and you gave yourself so many options? You don't have to be in America, but both of y'all got the same mindsets about how the hell you gonna live your life. And you both saved up, you both did the work, you both made those plans, and you following through with it. Now here it is. Now here the passport bros and the bros that stay in America. But here's the thing. We don't think they are options whether they're in America or Brazil or any place we land on. If she is too Americanized, we ain't messing with her. If she thinks she is like, because she dating you and she dating a black man and that's a status symbol and she try to be gangster and you're like,
Wait,
yeah.
hold on for a second, brother. Yeah,
Go ahead,
we're
sir. Go ahead, sir.
we're losing.
No.
The
What I'm
question.
asking is, no. Okay, let me rein it in. I'm sorry, but both of y'all is living a life. Well, sir, you have options out of this American country, but Nari got options out. I mean, inside the American country. But both of y'all is talking truth. Bernard is doing the American, you doing the international options, and none of what you're saying is wrong in both sides. If you're gonna stay in America, Bernard is telling you. If you're gonna go out internationally, you were telling them. Could you kind of connect how the dots work for both of y'all? Because you both talk about the same things, but you are taking more advanced options than Bernard is right now. But Bernard might be taking advanced options internationally, just like you are right now. That's what I meant.
No, okay. Well, as far as where I haven't been international. I haven't been to Brazil. That's I don't. So I'll put that out there.
You're the American prospect. You're the American prospect.
It's a possibility in the future, but no, I haven't done that yet. I haven't done that yet. But so I almost understand it. I'm throwing it to you. I'm throwing it to you, Dennis. And hopefully you got the question out of that.
I still don't understand what the question is.
Okay. Bernard is in America and he's winning. You're using international options and you're winning. Both of y'all winning. And the thing is, could you give me the American the American version of it, Bernard? Because you're in America and you using American options and you ain't like got out. He is international and he got out. But both of y'all is agreeing about the standard of what we dealing with.
Okay.
Now he's giving you an international flavor, but it's over there.
I think
if you cross the ocean, that's what I meant. Both of y'all is right. I can't argue with nothing y'all say, and I just wanted y'all to tie it into where it applies to wherever the hell you live. Because you can be in America, deal with this crap. You can be international, deal with this crap. Both of y'all is right. That's what I want to tie in on. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. No, I think I understand. You're saying that. Okay. Well, I'll just answer it as I understand it. I'm laughing at the chat. I'm laughing at you. I got a chill in the chat. All right. No, but far as winning here, you're understanding how the women are here, and you would generally understand that there's probably, I mean, if you're a guy who's living the way that you ought to be living and got the standards that you ought to have and not willing to put up with no nonsense, you generally understand that it's a smaller percentage of women in this environment that will be suitable for you. Over there, I think it's, I haven't been there, but from what I hear, what I understand, what I've heard from this brother who's been half the year here and half the year there, but what you're looking for, it's a more target rich environment over there. And so you could probably make it easy. You can make it either way, but over there it's a more target rich environment. I think that's where I'm going with it.
Can I phrase it another way?
Okay. All right.
Basically, the average man in America has to work harder for access to attractive women and sex than does that same man in a place like Brazil.
Mm-hmm. What about the guy who's what about the average Brazilian? Do you think because I remember when I talked to
Absolutely. Infidelity is a major issue in Brazil. And I've talked to Brazilians from all over the country, and it's the same thing. Infidelity is a big problem. Because the men have so much abundance.
You said the men have so much abundance over there?
Yeah.
What do you mean by they got so much abundance?
The Brazilian men, yeah.
Abundance in women, like they're abundant with beautiful women. So so the men the men cheat around or sleep around a lot. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. No. That makes sense. So but does that trickle down to just the average Brazilian dude?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. The average Brazilian dude is going to have probably an overabundance of
if he's a guy that has his stuff together, you know what I'm saying, it's not a total bum, then yeah, I mean, it's a major problem. They even got TV shows dedicated to that.
Dedicated to what? What do the TV shows look like?
They got a show in Brazil. I don't know if it's still on, but it used to be. It was called Test of Fidelity. Where the men were put in situations with women around to see if they'll stay faithful to their significant other or whatever.
Oh no, yeah, that's a losing game. Don't even set me up like that. Don't even. I say I forgot how we describe it here. Basically, any evidence that was found during an illegal search and seizure cannot be admitted in court or something like that. That's how I feel if they set a dude up and just have a prepaid baddie just come and throw herself at him. I'm like, no, you can't. That don't count. Count. We can't deal with that. We can't just have 8s and 9s just prancing in front of us, just throwing themselves at us. Like no. So no, that don't count. I don't like when shows do that, just setting dudes up like that. But we are joined by before I get into that, and hopefully I didn't miss some super chats. I think Rod of God sent one. I see Wizard Kelly in the building says, even the slow black man see the hashtag it that bad man. Call that man slow. Rod of God in the building. He says BR with the fresh cut. Man, yeah, I got a stunt on y'all here and there. And yeah, I did it myself. But he took a little extra time, a little extra care this time. Normally I rush through it, but I took my time this time. But he said, "BR with the fresh cut. Did you do it yourself? If you did, skills. Check the Cash App." Oh, no doubt, brother. Let me go ahead and check the Cash App. Shout out to Rod of God. I appreciate you acknowledging the barbering skills. I do halfway decent when I try. I don't got the patience for it to actually be good at it, but when I do, just take my time. I'm decent, but don't pay me to cut your hair. I give free haircuts to people I'm cool with. You pay me, I'm gonna have to give you your money back. Sir Tyson in the building says, I'll come up if y'all still going at halftime, but here's my question. Talk about the different regions you've been in, not just Rio. All right, we're gonna save that one. I gotta remind myself to come back to that one. I gotta remind myself to come back to that one because I do want to see what Sonny Robinson wants to add to the conversation. But before we go to Sonny Robinson, damn, Rod of God podcast in the building just dropped a $50 Cash App on me. A $50 Cash App on me. Gotta drop it. Had to drop a bomb. Okay, now that $50 cash app. Okay, now how much pussy could that buy me in Rio? No, I'm just playing. But oh, you got an answer? Go ahead.
I can answer that.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm not going. No, just let's.
Go ahead. We talk about that here. We talk about that here. I'm just
How much?
I'm just keeping,
how much?
Yeah, about how
$50 US.
Yeah.
That could get you. That could get you 30 minutes with some of the baddest women in Rio.
Right. $50.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm with it. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Sonny Robinson in the building. You got the floor, you got the mic. Hey, hold on, wait, you muted up. I just unmuted you, so go ahead.
You can hear me now, Bernard?
Yeah, we can hear you. You got it.
Hey, what's popping? What's popping, fellas?
How you doing?
Yo, I'm good. I'm Gucci. I'm great like Frosted Flakes.
Right
you
on.
know what I'm
right
saying?
On.
So my question is this right here. Like for a man like me, I'm already beat, you know what I'm saying, past all that trick and shit. You know what I'm saying? All that's past done for me.
Mhm.
Like I'm trying to find out I'm looking to break the matrix. And you know what I'm saying? Trying to looking for the wifey type, you know what I'm saying? Like submission. Because me as a man, I dominates mentally, physically, and financially.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And I ain't got time for all this competition, like dealing with a challenge of all this toxic femininity that's going on in our Western culture that we have today as a Black American. So in the Americas, I'm trying to go like down south and see if I could find me a wife. And what's some of the good places in Brazil that I could find me a wife? Like I ain't trying to go down there where people see me as like, oh, you a gringo and you know what I'm saying? Oh, we can get him for money, we could juice him for money and all like that, put the squeeze on me. I'm trying to find like wifey material. So what is the path could I go about finding a wifey material down in Brazil?
Well, I'll tell you like I'll tell anybody that come to Brazil for the first time. Don't come looking for a wife on your first trip. Go there, see the good, the bad, and the ugly, make connections, meet people, learn the language, and go from there. Rio de Janeiro is, for the most part, hookup culture. Okay. You will probably, is it possible to find somebody worthwhile in Rio? Yes, I did. But you have to learn the culture. You have to learn how they think. You have to learn a little bit of the language in order to connect effectively with the women down there. You know what I'm saying? Because if the two of you can't even communicate, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna cause challenges, especially when y'all have a disagreement. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So my suggestion is just to go there first, check it out, meet people, go online dating, connect with a few women, and go from there. And if you meet one that you like, then just keep her around and see where it goes. I wouldn't go down there specifically just to look for a wife. I think that's the wrong approach. You have to go there and scope out the terrain first.
Wait, and hold on, Sonny Robinson. I want to throw a follow up in there for the people who are looking for that. I know you said Rio is more hookup culture, but what about because I remember Sir Tice told me in an email you've been to 10 different
I've been to 11 different cities in Brazil.
Okay, all right. So would you say that if Rio is hookup culture, is there some equal opposite of that where you're more likely to find some mythical wholesome woman in Brazil, or I don't even want to say I want to say mythical. I don't even want to say mythical, but I have a perception of it now that it's just all party over there. But is it somewhere?
I'm gonna tell you what the Brazilians told me. If you're looking for a wife, go to the state of Minas Gerais, which is like an hour flight north of Rio. Minas Gerais.
Okay.
And in my opinion, those are some of the nicest people that I've ever met in Brazil. Minas Gerais. So if you're looking for a wife, go to Minas Gerais. That's what I was told.
All right, Sonny Rock,
Okay.
you still got another follow up? Go ahead.
Yeah, I got another one from your So Brazil is the only place you've been to, right?
I've been to Colombia and I've been to Canada.
You've been to Colombia. You ever been to the DR?
No, not yet.
All right. From your perception, which women you say are much better? Would you give the torch to? You give it to torch to Colombia women or Brazilian women? I mean, or Brazilian.
I'm gonna use a boxing analogy for this question. Colombia is faster and quicker, but Brazil hits harder. You know what I'm saying? The women,
I interpret that as the women got more ass.
The women, Colombian women, they're very beautiful in the face, very beautiful.
But the Brazilians got more ass. That's how I interpreted that.
But Brazilian women are sexier, in my opinion.
They got more ass, so I was right.
Yes.
It's funny how you made that boxing analogy, and I just converted it over like that.
Oh yeah,
they prettier over. They prettier over there, but they got more ass over here.
Yeah.
Damn. So he hit him with that Mike Tyson, huh?
Yeah.
That young Tyson.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what about as a me being a entrepreneur, Black American entrepreneur, I got a couple businesses and everything. I've been overseas. I know what it's like to be Black American overseas.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Europe, I've been to Germany, been to Austria. I've been to the places over there where they got nude swimming and topless swimming in their public pools over there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's just like, I know what it's like, and I tell any Black person, any Black American, you know what I'm saying? You want to know what it's like to be American, leave the States, be American outside the States,
Yes.
But with the end of the day, what my question is, like I'm looking to get into, I'm looking to like get into business, entrepreneur like in other countries too. I got a little couple things going here. You know what I'm saying? I got a non-emergency trans.
Oh shoot! What happened?
Kind of lost him.
Are you there? Look like you just got accosted or something. Like, hold on, I hear like some background.
I hear him, but he's really faint.
Yeah, you just got real low. It's like somebody either you just set your phone down and walked away, or you got tackled or something. I hope he's okay.
He's there.
All right, I'm gonna mute him up temporarily. Or maybe we need to listen if you're getting mugged. I don't know, but I'm just playing, yeah. But we can hear him. I can hear him faintly in the background, so that it's kind of weird. But Julian Brown in the building with a $5 super chat. I do appreciate that. Thank you for coming on through. Thank you for showing your support. And one thing real quick that I want to do, as I see it posted right there, make sure you go and subscribe to this brother, especially if you're interested in someday living that lifestyle, being able to go over there and stay over there go over there, or stay as long as you want. There's a lot of people, there, of course, there's one MT, there's a lot of IT guys who teach you, various skills that'll give you that kind of freedom, but he does the same thing in his own way. I think I heard you say you don't exactly do consultations or one-on-one consultations, but you do have resources and stuff, videos and stuff that could get them started, get them pointed in the right direction. Is that accurate?
Yes, I do. I don't do one-on-one training because with what I do, there's a lot of moving parts, and it requires a lot of studying, a lot of watching videos. And at the end of the day, I still want to retain my time freedom. I still want to protect my time freedom. Yeah. So I put together a package so that, I can point them in the right direction, tell them what to do, where to go, what to study, and this and this and that.
All right. Do you charge for this package, or
I do.
Okay, cool. But I guess they could start with just, I guess, watching the videos, or it's on your Patreon, or
it's on my my YouTube channel.
Oh, so they can just go right on your YouTube channel and find it and see, I guess, the early, I guess, the starter kit version of what it is. And if they want more, then they can, reach out and contact you and so forth and so on. So okay, all right, definitely. So yeah, I make sure you go sub to him. We got really good content over there. Make sure you check all of that out. The link is in the chat. Anybody else wanted to come up? We did cover oh, perfect. I was about to say we did cover a lot. I was going to ask anybody else got any excuse me, any other questions? Stop it, Ike. Cut it out, Ike. I just read your comment and that was not right. But anyway, Nameless Protagonist, and shout out to you. Shout out to Nameless Protagonist. He says, I do have a question for your guest. He says, is there a lively what is that word?
Capoeira.
Wow.
Capoeira is it's kind of like a Brazilian dance / martial art. And yes, there is a lively capoeira community, particularly in Rio and particularly in Salvador.
Okay. That that question seemed out of left field. I didn't know what he was talking about, but you own it. You own it. See, we got the expert in here. So yeah, by all means ask questions. Julian Brown, I think I already shouted that one out. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate you coming on through. Other than Rio, what would you say is the other? It sounds like Rio is your top spot down there. What would you say are the runner-ups?
Rio's number one. There's I like Fortaleza, which is in the northeastern part of Brazil. There's a city in Brazil that's referred to as the most advanced city in Brazil. It's called Balneário Camboriú. Most North Americans have never heard of this place. I found out about this place through my subscribers, and I went there, and I'm like, wow, it's like parts of it look like Beverly Hills. And but I will say Fortaleza. I like Fortaleza. I like Belo Horizonte's nice. But Rio's number one, without question.
Oh, this is a question. This just popped in my head. I don't know how this didn't come up earlier because I've sort of heard some people touch on this, but do the men in Brazil or Rio specifically or wherever down there, do they have a certain level of, I guess high level or even low level, disrespect for American men, not just on some geographical racism type stuff, but no, I'm talking just on some low level disrespect on some, you coming down here with all your
no
American dollars taking all the pussy.
No,
they don't give a shit.
No, Brazilian guys are cool. Brazilian guys are cool for the most part. Of course, you get a few jealous ones here and there, but for the most part, they're cool. They won't pick a fight with you or nothing like that.
Oh, so you never run into some stuff where you
No.
So yeah, when I go to Detroit on the weekend, I'm more likely to get into a fist fight down there than you are in Brazil.
No, I've never had any issues with Brazilian guys.
All right. So would you say it's safe down there? I know I've asked this question to 1MT, but what's your thought on the overall safeness down there? Because I know that's a concern that a lot of people say, you gonna get they don't do drive-bys, but they'll stab your ass.
Is all of Brazil dangerous? No.
Okay.
In the big cities, yes. Rio, Sao Paulo, places like that. You got to be a little bit more mindful of your personal safety. But in my opinion, the positives outweigh the negatives. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The positive outweigh. I mean, most of the stuff that goes down as a tourist, if you go there, like petty theft, you know what I'm saying? Nothing really, because in the tourist areas of Rio, there's a heavy police presence. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like the City of God. It's not like the movie The City of God, where you're going to get gunned down in the street or nothing like that. It's not like that anymore.
Yeah. Hey, that was a classic. A lot of people, I don't think a lot of people know about that one. That was a classic.
Yeah.
but yeah. All right. What was damn, I had another one right at the tip of my tongue, but you said, do you you said it's petty theft down there.
Yeah, you get a lot of some people that are, try to snatch your chain, try to snatch your phone, try to snatch your purse if you're not careful. It's little stuff like that.
Okay. All right. Do you ever got this fear, and keep in mind, it's kind of a silly question to ask because it's actually an American fear, you know, with these dating apps and everything. You swiping and you meeting chicks that you don't even know. I just met on the app, and if things go well, which it normally don't, but sometimes, you know, you have a lucky week, you know, where, you know, you've matched with a chick, and then early on into the conversation, trying to figure out, you know, your place or hers, and then it end up being hers, and you kind of got to go in with your head on the swivel. You don't know if
you never go to her place. You always make her come to you.
yeah. But then, I mean, even doing that, okay, now you just gave away your location. So either way it goes,
I mean,
you can get caught
risk.
with your pants down. Either way it goes, you can get caught with your pants down, literally.
Right. There's always a risk with that. That's why you got to vet. You got to vet people properly.
Yeah.
I generally don't like to invite women I don't know back to where I lay my head. That's just me. But you just got to be extra careful.
You got an advantage with that. You speak the language, you can actually vet. But brothers down there that don't speak the language, that's a hard vet.
Well, I tell guys, I advise guys, if you're going to invite a woman back to your spot, make sure you secure all your valuables. You know, put all your stuff in a lockbox so that, you know, just in case something does happen, you know, she won't take you for all you got.
Yeah, I mean, and that's an issue here. That's an issue here too. But I'm just thinking it's perhaps a different dynamic with you know, traveling and having American dollars, and you know, most people poor over there are definitely poor in comparison. So it just may be a heightened thing. You may have to, you know, have your head on even more of a swivel for. So I was just wondering about it from that perspective. But all right, we got I'm about to bring up Momo down there. You ready? You look like you up walking around. Let me know when you're ready. Give me a thumbs up or something when you're ready. All right, you ready? All right, cool. Welcome aboard. What's on you? Oh, and I see you back down there, Sonny Robinson. I'll bring you up in a second. But what's going on? We got Momo in the building. What's up? What you got?
Hey, peace and blessings to the panel. Thanks for having me on. I always appreciate the info. I've been watching all the YouTubers for a while, the main ones, the brothers that's keeping it clean and classy. One of the questions that I had was, there was a video last week from Barber World, one of my favorite YouTubers, and he had mentioned that a question was, is it over for the big three?
Right.
And, you know, it kind of made me want to push the gas a little bit and hurry up and get my stuff together before I missed the wave, sort of, because he said that the prices of the hotels were going up to where it was almost like American prices for hotels by the beach that were like quality.
Let me make sure I understand it right. When you say big three, you're referring to?
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, the big three was Brazil, Colombia, and the DR.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I just wanted to hear. Basically, I was hoping for some a little bit of pushback from Dennis, that he could make us feel a little bit more comfortable that it's not becoming more Americanized.
I saw the video. And he did another interview today where he clarified what he meant by that. Cool brother, by the way, Barber World.
Yeah.
He said that basically in the places where a lot of American travelers or a lot of travelers, international travelers, stay at in general, those prices are going up. For example, in Rio de Janeiro, Copacabana, Ipanema, the places where a lot of tourists are living or staying, they're kind of increasing their prices. But outside of those areas, it's pretty much the same. I checked the Airbnb prices in different cities in Brazil, and they're still pretty much the same. They're still pretty much the same. So outside of the main tourist areas, it's pretty much the same. But in those centralized locations, yes, those prices are going up. For example, I recently checked Airbnb prices for Copacabana, where I normally stay at, and they want $2,000+ for a month or more. You know, for $2,000 a month to stay in Airbnb. In the past, I paid no more than $1,300. I'm like, damn. But outside of those areas, outside of those main tourist areas, it's still pretty much the same.
So basically, if we go for the weekend or for the 2 weeks, we can expect to pay some pretty, pay a pretty good penny for a quality Hotel.
If you're gonna stay in the tourist areas, yes. If you're
Yeah.
gonna stay in the main spots, yes, you're gonna pay more this time.
Okay. So it's not gonna be nowhere close to like Colombia or Thailand or something like that.
Even Colombia's going up. Depending on where you go.
Okay. So the other part of that was, are the women starting to feel more entitled and starting to raise prices of entertainment?
Some of the working girls, yes. Some of the working girls, yes.
There you
Absolutely.
go.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Why? Hold on. Well, I guess my question is why are they, as you said, feeling more entitled or raising the prices? And and one of the questions. I'm sorry. Well, go ahead.
Because you got some guys that go down there, they want to feel like they're the man. They want to, pay more. They think they're getting, they're paying more. They don't know how to negotiate. They don't know the ins and outs. So they go there and they pay these women higher than what they normally get, and it just inflates the market.
I was going to ask, and I skipped this question, but I guess it will circle back to it because I might as well just work this question in this way. Do passport Pookie got something to do with that price going up?
If the Pookies, the simps, you know what I'm saying, the guys who just want to, who don't know any better,
yeah,
they go and they overpay. They go and they
right.
overpay. And if the woman that you're talking to is quoting her prices in US dollars, that's a problem. If she's quoting her prices in US dollars instead of the local currency, that's a problem.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's talk about, because I mean I've heard the term passport Pookie, and I don't know exactly what that is, but what's your perspective on that? What exactly is passport?
When they say Pookie and Ray Ray, they mean
I know what they mean by Pookie and Ray Ray, but a passport Pookie got to be something different than just regular run of the mill in the hood Pookie.
Just somebody that's ghetto.
So just somebody who I understand. So okay, what is passport Pookie doing down there? That's what I'm asking.
Some of them are throwing money in the air. Some of them are, overpaying, causing a scene, making noise. I mean, it's just, I don't encounter too much of that in Brazil. I hear that goes down mostly in the DR and in Colombia. I don't see too much of that in Brazil.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Momo, you got anything else?
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I don't travel with groups anymore, because for some reason when I go to the DR and I take people with me, brothers, they turn into a whole nother character because they're exposed to so much access to call it pressure, beautiful women, that it catches them off guard and they can't handle it. They can't handle faces flowing. You can have them in the streets. You walk around with bottles and it's fairly safe. So it's got me, like, a regular brother actually turns into a Pookie on accident. Like they weren't.
Yeah, and it's funny you mention that because I made a video a while back called "Don't Be a Sucker." A lot of guys come to places like DR, they come to places like Rio, and they get an attractive woman giving them positive attention, and they lose control because they're not getting a lot of that back home. You know what I'm saying? So they lose control. They start overpaying. They start just doing irrational things. So I get where you're coming from.
It's not safe because some brothers they're getting older. Like some of the brothers are like 40, 50. They never really had that much action. So when they get there, they get home, they're sending money. I'm telling them to stop. I've had it happen a couple of times where they think they're in love, wife now, and I'm like trying to get them to calm down until it's too late. They didn't ran through their bank account and they find out that it was all true. So I don't do it anymore. Like I'm going solo, but it seemed like in Brazil, you can't do that in Brazil, because it's so far away. It seemed like there won't be that many Pookies there because it's not just a quick flight to Sosua,
Right. It's Rio is kind of like a buffer because it's far it's too far, Brazil is too big, and the language is tough. So I don't see so-called Pookies overrunning Brazil like they've done some of these other countries.
So your answer to that would be no, we can't ruin. We're not going to ruin Brazil.
I don't think so. It's too far. It's too big. The language is too tough. And, it's not cheap. It's not cheap to travel Brazil. It never has been cheap.
So one more question. Thank you. I appreciate you. This is my last question.
Mm-hmm.
The language is tough because I've been learning Spanish, and it seemed like it's so many similar words to Spanish.
Yes.
It's, instead of tu como, it's like vos como, or te leche. Lion is like, Leo. Like the words are really close. So I don't really, it doesn't seem to be a problem. Duolingo has been helping me. Thanks for the confidence, man. Thanks for your time. I'm gonna sign out and let you get back to the show.
Yeah, Portuguese. A lot of Portuguese and Spanish words are similar. It's just the pronunciation is different. So if you speak Spanish, you're like halfway there. Learning Portuguese will be fairly easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. It's helped me out a lot. Like just learning on Duolingo, it seems like I'm gonna be able to get it. Like in the Dominican will say like todo bien, but in Brazil it's like
todo bem,
boom, or todo bem, or no yo tango, like yo tango, or ose, or you tango. Like I get it. So it's not gonna take me too long, but I'm definitely motivated to study every day, so I could get out there, man, and just live my life, because it's like therapy, bro. The food, the weather, it just changed my whole perspective about what I'm doing. Like now I'm not such a consumer. Like in the United States, I don't want to go buy new cars. I don't want to.
Can I touch on that? Let me touch on that.
Yep, go ahead.
The more I start going to Brazil, the more I realized how much crap I don't need. You don't need a Bentley with 20-inch rims. You don't need all this extra junk that you need in the States. You can just be yourself as long as you're a decent looking guy, clean cut, smell good, got a decent income. I mean, you just don't need all the junk that you need in the States to attract women. You just don't.
Interesting.
A better thought provoked, like a better insightful human being, like on period. Like I'm being more cautious, I'm focused better. It's like the Dominican Republic did that for me, though. Like, woke me up to the possibility. Then I started studying. I realized now.
Hold on, brother. You're making background noise.
Oh, sorry. Is that me?
No. That was I muted him. That was Sonny Robinson. I muted him.
Okay. Hey, man, I appreciate you, brothers. Keep up the good work. I'm gonna sign out and let you get back to the show.
No problem. Thanks.
All right. Cool. Thanks. Appreciate you coming on up. All right. Now, Sonny Robinson, I will go back to you. Give you another shot at it. You go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Hey, thanks. Thanks, Big B. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to the last brother. You know what I'm saying? With his he had some great questions and everything. You developed you gave him a lot of insight, and me too. My thing is the way I got, somebody had called me. I apologize. Somebody called me on the phone.
No problem.
Threw me off. But my question is, I'm an entrepreneur. Like I was saying, I got business and non-emergency transport and everything, and the medical and everything. And I'm looking to expand, explain my entrepreneurship over into other countries, and instead of over here in North America. Like I'm not, I wanna know, cause I was thinking about Airbnb, starting Airbnb over there, and in a high tourist area and everything, and instead of brothers just going over there looking for for pleasure and everything, there's also a business side that we can capitalize as Black Americans too, because our currency right now is the strongest in the world right now, one of the tops in the world right now, because a lot of markets has fallen, so cash is king right now. So I just want to know, So I just want to know, like, what's some of the business opportunities that you see as a made Black American go over there, can venture to over there in Brazil?
Well, like you just said, the Airbnb, there's the Airbnb option. I mean, compared to, because we have leverage with the American dollar, you can get some pretty good properties down in Brazil for fairly cheap and rent them out if you decide to do that. So that's definitely one option. That's one thing I want to explore. But you would have to, like I said, you would have to come to Brazil, come to Rio de Janeiro, check out the landscape, see what's what and who's who, and then make a decision on how you're gonna move.
Okay, and how would you get with good credible lawyers over there?
I have a few buddies, a few contacts who have connections with good lawyers who speak English and stuff like that. So yeah, just you go down there, you meet people, make connections, and they'll point you in the right direction.
Okay. So are there any other business opportunities that you've seen from your observation of being down there?
Well, here's the thing. Because the Brazilian real is a weaker currency, I'd rather not earn money in Brazilian reais because it's weak.
That's what I was thinking.
You know what I'm saying? So you're not taking advantage of the leverage that you have because you're earning in American dollars. For example, in my line of work, I'm earning in American dollars and British pounds and sometimes euros. So I'm able to leverage my money more when I go to a place like Brazil because of the conversion, the currency exchange. So you have to ask yourself, do I really want to earn money in a currency that's weaker than mine?
That was my next but that was my follow-up question to that, because if you're doing Airbnbs out there, I mean, okay, you probably could leverage your American dollars and buy the properties out there, but they're going to be paying you in whatever the currency is out there.
Yeah.
I'm like, it would make much more sense to try to get properties here.
If you're doing Airbnb and you're renting out to foreigners, then I can see that because you're charging gringo prices. Gringo is another word for foreigner in Brazil. But outside of that, I don't really know too many areas where you're really leveraging your US dollar. I could be wrong, but I don't know of any off top.
But well, I was just basically saying, like, in businesses and high tourist areas. So really you're gonna do a lot of volume more than anything. Because really in places like that, I look at the currency like it's not about the currency, it's about the volume. So and that's basically where I'm looking for opportunity right there. I'm looking for opportunity in the volume. I'm not really looking for opportunity as like in the currency. Well, just to have something lingering as an investment, because one thing about it is that you also could take out loans from banks against your properties or against other investments against things that you own, what I'm saying, against assets. And it's always good to have extra assets that you could definitely take loans out against, that banks will be honestly really ready to give you money against your assets.
But here's another thing you have to keep in mind. The bureaucracy, the red tape in Brazil is ridiculous. It takes business moves slower down there. If you want to get things done, it takes a lot longer. It's not like the United States where our business is more efficient. A lot of paperwork, a lot of red tape. It's going to take a long time to get to where you want to go because of that down in Brazil. Also, you got to, hire people, got to be able to speak some of the language if you're going to open a business there. It's a lot of steps you got to take. It's a lot of steps you got to take. So it's up to you whether you think that's worth it or not. But there's a lot of things you have to consider before doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely appreciate it because, one thing about, just because, one thing about currency, currency goes up and down, currency goes up in one part of the world and it goes down in another part of the world. Right. Just because it may be down today, that's not necessarily mean it may be up tomorrow. So, I'm always looking for, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a businessman first.
Mhm.
And I let my business, exploit my pleasure. But with that being said, man, you've been great, man. Passport Bros, we're winning, bro. You know what I'm saying? We are winning. Don't let nobody ever shame tactic you or make you feel like you ain't winning, because our goal is to break this matrix, man. This matrix of where we gotta be something that we're not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't want to hold
Yeah,
you
I
up or
do.
nothing like that. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead,
No,
B.
no, 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 y'all. You was wrapping up. Go ahead and finish wrapping up, or I think you pretty much said it.
Yeah. Thanks for coming
so,
on, man.
so yeah. Thanks for coming on up. Do appreciate you.
Yeah,
Appreciate your
yeah.
perspective.
One more thing, B. I've been wanting to donate to the channel and everything. Y'all got me blocked from donating, bro.
I don't
What's
think you
goody?
blocked. I don't think you blocked
I'm
from that.
blocked, bro, from donating. Every time I try to
No,
donate, it's like you can't donate to the channel. Unable to
the
donate.
the super chat is weird sometimes. I don't know what it is with that. The cash app always works if you want to put something on the cash app. The cash I ain't never seen the cash app not work, but either way, sometimes the super chat for some people, for whatever reason, maybe it's the device they use, I don't know. But either way it go, I appreciate it. Appreciate you coming on up, giving your perspective and everything on this. Let me read the super chat by Java Joe real quick before we move up on out of here. But Java Joe in the building says, "Hey DJP, you got to caution guys about the weather in Rio. It went once during the wet. I'm sorry. He's saying I went once during the wet season and it rained for 2 weeks straight. Goddamn, that
Yes.
happens out there.
Yes. Depending on where you go in Brazil, yeah, it does. It can, because it's tropical.
Oh my
I'm not
goodness.
sure what time of the year he went, but it can rain like that at any moment. I went one year a couple of years ago. It rained the first whole week I was there. It rained every day for a week. I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? But
Dang.
yeah, it does rain a lot in Brazil. It does rain a lot.
That's rough.
All
That's
right,
rough.
yeah, it's rough. All right, fellas, y'all have a good evening, and good looking on the show. B, keep your head up and stay. You know what I'm saying? Keep it positive. You know what I'm saying? Black Americans, keep doing your thing, man. Don't let nobody
Yeah.
shame tactic you.
Yeah,
Deuces.
right on. Yep, appreciate you. Yeah. Dennis, one thing that I didn't even want to touch on it or even deal with it in this interview. All the negativity that people
Go
throw
ahead.
at Passport Bros and all that.
Go
I
ahead.
mean, I don't. We've covered that round. We've had people come on the panel and we've argued with them, and we've done knockdown, drag out debates, and I was just like, man, I'm so through with that shit. People,
You know what?
I'm so through
People
with
are
it.
going to
Yeah,
say
go
what
ahead.
they want to say and think what they want to think, and no amount of proof, evidence, and whatever else you throw at them is going to change their mind. The people who are with us are with us. The people who are against us, they're going to be against us until whenever. So I don't worry about it. Just live your life for you. Well, don't worry about what somebody else got to say. Live your life for you. If they want to stay here and be in the States, then let them stay.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah, I've never understood it. It's things that take place online that I will never understand. I can't even imagine in real life, not just online stuff, but in real life, somebody just saying at the cookout, "Yeah, man, I got my passport. I went to Brazil twice last year, man. It was amazing. I loved it. I can't wait to get back." And then he get met with criticism. I don't think that even happened in real life. But then again, I'm probably wrong because you probably can tell me where I'm wrong.
Unfortunately, in our community, we got a crab in a barrel mentality. Unfortunately, it's really unfortunate.
I was hoping this was only online, but in real life, they doing
It's the
the
same
same
thing. Well, what you going down there for? We got
Man, I
beautiful
don't
women
get
right
it.
here in the States.
I don't get the men and the women doing it. I understand the women. I understand why the women doing it, but even the men doing that.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness,
just
that's
ignore it.
crazy. But anyway, what final words you want to hit us with before we get out of here? And first off, thank you. This was definitely a great interview. That definitely insight and perspective, being somebody who actually lived there half the year. Like some people some people be talking about it. Some people do it once a year for a week, but you do this thing for real. So this was definitely an insightful conversation. But what's your final thoughts and takeaway that you throw to the brothers out there?
My final thoughts. I got some interesting interviews coming up on my channel in the next couple of weeks. I got a couple Brazilian ladies coming up. I'm going back to Brazil the end of December. I'm gonna be there for 4.5, 5 months, and it's gonna be some hot fire. So definitely check me out. Those of you who are on the fence about going to Brazil or anywhere, just make your plans and just go, man. You know, just make your plans, just go, because you only get one shot on this rock called Earth. You know what I mean? You don't want to be on your deathbed thinking, "Oh, I wish I would have did this. I wish I would have did that." Just do it, because tomorrow's not promised.
All right, Sir Tice, you always do this to me when I'm trying to leave. You come out the last minute.
Come in the fourth quarter.
What up, Ray?
Come in the fourth quarter. Well, what up, DJP? Hey, yo, infantry skills. I'm not coming up here to Dennis. Apparently, you're according to infantry skills. I think he's kind of a bot, but apparently you're a reject, and the only reason that you go overseas to travel is because you can get no females here.
Really?
Hey, hold on. I'm gonna let y'all have it. I gotta step away. I'm gonna let y'all have it for a second. Y'all got it.
Yeah. That's what he said. Infantry skills. You always like to make a little slick comment. So further elaborate on that, so that I'm not putting words in your mouth, or whatever. But just address that.
It's not that I can't get women here in the States.
It's not that I can't say about you guys.
It's not that I can't get women in the States. I just don't want to do it.
Right.
I just don't want to deal with the bullshit. I mean, I wish I could show you receipts of some of the women I've dated here in the States, and that'll shut that up really quick. So, I mean, it's not that I don't want to date in the States. It's just that's better where I'm going to. Less. It's like these guys are asking me to be a landlord in a bad neighborhood with shitty tenants, where I can go to a good neighborhood and be a landlord, have better tenants, and make more money. So, I mean, guys can say what they want to say. It don't matter. I got the receipts to prove it, both in the States and in Brazil. So say what you want. Has no bearing.
No. But you got a lot of critics. I wanted to just address that in general. It's a lot of critics. And in my opinion, I just think that it's just jealousy. They can't do what you do.
A lot of it is jealousy. A lot of it is jealousy. A lot of guys, their heads are so wrapped in the matrix that they can't think of anything else. They can't think outside this psychological bubble called America. So whatever.
I got you. Hey, good interview. I got to get back to the game. It's halftime or what have you, and I'm watching this basketball game. I got some action on, so we'll be in touch. Hey, Bernie. See, I'm gonna get off. I didn't come in the fourth quarter and hold you up or whatever. Glad you all was able to put this together.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey, Bernie, like I said, I gotta fly up to the D. I may stay there 5 days, so let's try to hook up or whatever later on. Right. The week.
Cool. Yeah, just let me know.
Ray, thanks for the hookup, bro.
Keep me posted.
Got you.
Yep.
All right. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up once again. Thank you. Thank everybody who participated in this live stream, everybody who liked, shared, subscribed, hit the super chat, Cash App, did anything. Make sure, if you don't do nothing else, make sure you go subscribe to the brother DJP, Dennis John Pierre. Hopefully I got that right.
Yeah, you got it.
Make sure you go and subscribe to the brother. Got an excellent channel over there. Make sure you go subscribe to him. The link is in the chat room. I'll make sure I put the link in the description in the description of the video. But yeah, make sure y'all go over there and check him out. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Peace. We gone.